Welcome to Women in the Middle Entrepreneurs, the podcast that gives you an unfiltered, behind-the-scenes look at what it's really like being a woman in the middle who's over 50 and following her entrepreneurial dreams. Grab a superhero cape, girlfriend, because you deserve one. I'm your host, Master Certified Life Coach and Midlife Mentor, Suzy Rosenstein, and I am excited to inspire you with interviews that feature all of this midlife amazingness. Let's go. Hey there, welcome back to the show. We have another really exciting interview ahead of us about how my guest simplified her business to working only about 4 hours a day. Today, you're going to be meeting Susanne Riker, a woman in the middle entrepreneur who's helping midlife coaches and service providers launch their websites, create online courses, and grow their audience. Welcome to the show, Susanne. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Oh, I am too. And I love that your little dog is in the background. I love it when the pets come on the podcast too. I know we're going to have, I'm sorry?
No, I think we all need to have like animals to calm us down. It's the best thing I've ever did.
Agree so much. He's so cute. He's like curled up in a blankie. He just looks adorable. Okay, so we are going to have a great conversation. We're going to be talking about your midlife entrepreneur story. We're going to be talking about your business and what's going really well, and also what midlife issues might be getting into your way. A little bit, to some extent, might be challenging for you and in your life as well as being a business owner. So let's get started with a big, juicy question: how old you are, how long you've been an entrepreneur, what your journey has been, and what it is that you do in the world. So take it away.
Yes, you're welcome. So I'm 53 years old. I'm originally from Germany. And I think my entrepreneurial journey started a little bit, or I get like inspired. I had the vision suddenly when I went to Bali for a yoga teacher training when I think I was like 43. Like, what do you do in midlife when you're looking for more purpose? My background was working in advertising. And then I just fell in love with that island and I wanted to move there. And I've already been freelancing in Germany. So that's why I also was able to take longer periods of time off to travel. So I was like, like discovering my love for traveling again. And so I did all the things. I did like PowerPoint presentations. So I prettified then. I was still trying to work for my advertising agency clients in Germany. And then I started helping other yoga teachers with their websites, with their marketing. And then it kind of developed that I started working with yoga teachers, helping them basically build their business. And then I discovered online courses. And suddenly the world opened up. I was like, my eyes were like, boing. Suddenly I was like, okay, this is an interesting business model. I could do this, right? I could create an online course and then sell it again and again and again. And, that's what I did. Back at the end of 2016, I started my business and I've been, slowly like building it up, growing it until I pivoted my niche in 2023 to work with women in midlife, in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond, because I feel like I've outgrown my niche of yoga teachers. I'm not really in that world so much anymore. And I just felt like a lot of my clients who found me are already closer to my age. I love working with women my age who are really like wanting to go for it, who are ready to really, like see what else is possible in their life. And yes, I'm just here all for empowering women and sharing that it's never too late to go for your dreams.
I love your story. And you didn't mention a really juicy part of your story yet, which I really want you to talk about because I get sucked in by these videos all the time. Tell us about traveling in a camper van and running your business. What was that part like?
Well, I got back from Bali just when the pandemic started, just before, thank God. And then I was stuck in Germany. My mother was sick, so I was already like spending more time there. So it was great to have also more time there, but I really love traveling and winters in Germany are traumatizing for me. It's just so gray and dark and rainy. And so I always had that dream of getting a camper van. And so, so I did that. I bought it, and then in 2021, I went for my first trip to Scandinavia with my little dog. So just me with my dog, and it was like the most amazing time. And I was working from the road, always chasing internet connection.
Yep.
So that's the beautiful thing. I mean, that's why I built my online business to have that freedom to work from anywhere. And it was amazing. So I traveled 6 months that year, also the winter. And then in 2022, that was also where I was traveling. My mother was sick, then she was dying. So there was a lot of like situation that really kind of forced me to scale down a bit, to slow down a little bit. That's why I really started working a lot less and focus on selling one offer. And it worked so well, right? So I still had like my best year, 2022. And sometimes we just need that. So, and I was so happy to have my business. I was so like, because really loved connecting with my clients. That was really what was building me up when things were tough at home or sad. And that I had also that future, that vision, basically. I have a really strong vision for my business of where I want to go for my life.
Mm.
So, I was traveling. Yeah, I was like traveling all of Scandinavia, then Spain and Portugal in the winter, then Switzerland the next summer. The UK was beautiful, Cornwall, Belgium, the Netherlands, Germany. Yeah, that's pretty much France, a lot of, yeah. And it was amazing, really beautiful. And then the winter 1 year ago, I was in Portugal. I wanted to move to Portugal. So my mother died, so I was ready. Okay, I always saw myself living in the south of Europe. I love the Mediterranean lifestyle. And it's an amazing thing in Europe. You can, it's easy to move there. You don't have to get a visa or anything. And then I was in Portugal and suddenly nothing felt right. Suddenly everything felt heavy. And I was like, okay, what now? So I was really actively surrendering to the universe and asking it, okay, you guide me. I believe in my divine timeline. It's all going to be okay. And then my sister suggested that I check out Mallorca. So I booked the car ferry. It's an island, a Spanish island in the Mediterranean. I booked my ferry. I booked an Airbnb because it's cold here. It was in January. It's not like the tropics. And I fell in love right away and found a place. 2 months, 2 weeks, a few weeks later, I started looking for places to rent. And then I moved here.
Wait, so
So
on the
yeah,
car ferry, you brought your camper van
yeah,
and your dog.
yeah, of course.
You just arrive at this place. You're not sure what's next, but you're very open and you're surrendering to guidance and you fell in love and you're actually in a proper apartment now.
Yeah, you can see it. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
mine. Yeah.
Wow. Where's the van? Did you sell it?
I sold it last summer. I miss
Oh,
it like crazy actually right now, but it's a small island. You don't really need it here. And I feel like I've been in that van for 12 months in total. I feel I've done it in a way. And and then last summer, it sounds very romantic, right? Traveling in a camper van, working on the road. But oh my God, it can be really challenging. It was summer. It was super hot. It was like a heat wave from May on. And then it was like the main season. So everything was busy. Camper vans were busy with families and kids. And yeah, so I got a little bit tired of it,
hmm.
but I miss it. But I know I'm going to probably, maybe even already next summer, I'm going to rent one for a few weeks to go back to Scandinavia to escape the summer here. We'll see. We'll see.
Susanne, it does sound romantic. I honestly do watch those videos. And a lot of people, it starts with the van and then they do the build and the customization themselves. Did you do that or did you purchase one that
No,
was
but I had an amazing company, like a small manufacturing company from two guys in the south of Germany who built it for me. So it looks like one of those outfitted, like, yeah, it was so beautiful. Yeah,
oh,
it was so
wow.
beautiful. But it's not really like to really grow a business. Whew, My God, it's not easy when you're on the road because then it's either too hot to work. I remember I did one podcast interview and I was parked somewhere without any shadow and I was just dying. I was sweating. I was like, okay, let's not use the video, right? Because I was just
Yeah.
like putting off everything that I know.
Oh my gosh, but you're right. Like the temperature, you have less control. And you didn't have a little unit, a little air conditioning unit of any
Uh,
kind?
Air conditioning, not. I had a fan, but when you're doing podcast interview, you have to turn it off because it's noisy.
Wow. And then internet is difficult when you're traveling to get enough bandwidth to do a podcast. That's tough.
The podcasting was actually, it was okay with Zoom.
With Zoom,
So with the
really?
hotspot, I mostly used my phone as a hotspot. And now with 4G or even 5G everywhere, that's actually was working mostly okay. I mean, sometimes when you are in very rural areas, it was difficult. I mean, you're like in the most beautiful place where you want to stay. And then I have to go like, okay, let's find civilization, like a parking spot at a supermarket to get to work. So you
Exactly.
always have to balance that. Yeah. So when I did like bigger events or live events I did that when I was in Hamburg in Germany. And then when I was on the road, I just had my client calls. For the summer, I also like paused my podcast. I just republished some of the most popular episodes. So that worked. So I was working a little bit less. I also have a really great VA who did things. But yeah, but the normal like the running of the business, the client calls. So I was selling a mastermind basically, like a more premium group coaching program that also includes one-on-one calls and weekly Zoom calls. So I was always like, but only on the days Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays.
That
So
was
I
great.
only
So the time
schedule
blocking.
days. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant. Well, I loved hearing this story, I have to say. So good. So you a recent pivot, a new apartment, and a continued focus on building your simplified business. That's what it sounds like. Yes.
Definitely. So I think I got a little bit distracted last year because I was so excited to be in one place and and like really, okay, now I can really do other things. And so I created like all kind of like online courses, smaller offers. And that was such a stupid idea. I really got distracted. I really lost focus. And I was looking back at 2022 when I really wasn't working a lot. I was like, okay, no, something went wrong here. Let's get back on track and let's really simplify things again. So I'm back at that and it's really my focus. It's also what I teach my clients to keep things simple, not try to do everything at once, especially a lot of my clients are really just getting started. So what I do is really help them elevate their brand, their website, and then package their expertise in a premium group coaching program. So a lot of my clients, they've a lot of experience and skills, like either as a coach or as a yoga teacher. They've done like yoga teacher trainings. And now it's like they want to work less. They want to have an online business. So they want to scale. They want to travel. They don't want to sell their time for money anymore. So, yeah, that's where I come in and help them. And it's really all about like keep things simple. Don't try to do everything at once.
Yeah, and really that's been your lifestyle. Like you do like to even keep your lifestyles, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So what would you say these intersections have been for you where being a midlife entrepreneur where you couldn't really run your business exactly the way you wanted to because you were a woman in midlife?
I think that only really became like kind of an issue for me last year. When I really realized I don't have the same amount of energy anymore. And with everything like moving to a new country, building a new community, that really like takes a lot of energy. And I was completely underestimating that. I was like, no, no, I have time. I can work and can do all the things. I can create that event and do that and do that. And I was so tired. And then I suddenly started having all those symptoms. Interestingly enough, just when no, I had like the worst symptoms, like my first hot flashes, just after I pivoted my niche. It was just like the universe was like saying, okay, let's test it. Let's test it. And now that disappeared again. I don't know why, but I think it's all phases.
That is
But
so
I was,
perfect.
Yeah, it's like suddenly I was sitting there having like 10 hot flashes a day. And you're sitting like in a meeting or suddenly it's like, oh, is it hot here?
Now
It
you
was
did
also
mention,
like here, hot here, the weather. So,
yeah,
but then,
sometimes, you know what? It's something I've never experienced. I never had a hot flash. I've gotten hot, but it hasn't been what I hear so often as it, where you have to peel off and you're actually
yeah, it's like
sweating.
this wave. It was really interesting.
Yeah.
Really, I
Oh.
didn't feel, for me, it was like, okay, I didn't really find it annoying or it was more like, oh, that's interesting. And then it's just like a minute or something and then it disappears. But no, they're gone for now. But yeah, definitely one of the symptoms that I had to adjust to was lack of energy. And I also struggled with, I think like 1 year ago or something, with a little bit with depression, with feeling really blue. And I think that was also from on the hormonal level. And because I was just overtiring myself, because it also disappeared. I'm not really taking any medication right now. I'm open to it, but right now it's probably going to come. So right now I don't really have any symptoms.
Uh-huh.
So yeah.
Well, that's amazing. Enjoy this time, right? One other thing you mentioned in the notes, and I was so happy you mentioned it because I've experienced it too. It's aging in front of the camera. So it's not that I don't, I'm on camera lots of times, but I do find that I'm a little more aware of it sometimes, and I'm just not in the mood.
Hmm.
I much prefer audio because it's just one less thing to worry about? So how has that come up for you, aging in front of the camera? What kind of things are you focused on?
think it was, I think now it feels so freeing that I'm so open with my age. After I pivoted my niche, it's like, and I'm putting it out there. I'm 53. I'm in my 50s. I'm living my best life. And I really am. I think I'm much happier than I was in my 30s or in my 40s and also much more self-confident in a way. So, but still, especially when I started my business, I was, yeah. And everybody else seemed to be like young, beautiful, and it can make you feel really awkward and like you don't belong. And that was, oh my God, yeah, I love Bali, I really do. But it gets tiring when you're always the oldest person in the room. I mean, I love having friends of all ages, obviously, right? So I met amazing people there, but everybody is like in their 20s, 30s, maybe early 40s. So it's like, oh, it makes you feel older somehow, not younger. It's weird. It's weird. And it's only me because I'm sure nobody else thought that. So it was
Yeah.
just only all in my head. And I'm not sure that age is an excuse when you don't want to be on video. A lot of my clients who are younger have the same issue. And even when they are gorgeous, I think that's what most of us go through. So my
You know what I
experience
find?
has been that it's just practice makes perfect.
Yeah,
Do
for
it.
sure. But I do find with Zoom, like because we do so much on Zoom now, and thank God for Zoom, but I've never looked at myself so much in my whole
Yeah, that's so true.
life. So I'm not, I don't know that if I didn't have Zoom for the last 10 years or 8 years, whatever it was, I don't know that I'd be so focused on the wrinkles under my eyes, but I am staring at myself so much.
That's so true. That's so true. Yeah, sometimes I'm do self. You can hide your self view, but yeah, I don't really do that a lot. No, that's true. Zoom is like my mirror where I check my hair and things.
Oh my gosh, the funniest thing happened the other day. I was rushing between calls and I needed to do a group call. And maybe it was a group where I was a client or maybe I was the coach and they were my clients. I don't remember which one. But I quickly ate an English muffin with peanut butter on it and it was delicious, but I put the peanut butter on when the muffin was hot. So it kind of melted. And so I sit down and I'm all ready to turn it on and I went, "Yeah, I should probably check a mirror." I checked the mirror and there was a big smear of peanut butter like on my face, not on my mouth, right next to my mouth. And I didn't even sense it. And I was just laughing. And then I shared it. I shared what happened. Oh, it was with my clients, or I wouldn't have shared it. But I said I just remembered I should probably just do a quick check to make sure everything's okay. There's no food in my teeth or whatever. And there was peanut butter actually on my face.
I love that. It reminds me of like in the beginning of the pandemic when suddenly Zoom was everywhere and there was this video of a guy like having those Zoom calls and then going to the toilet
Yes.
and not turning the camera off. And then went viral. Oh, person.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, it was something. Yeah, it was something.
Mhm.
Okay, so another thing I like to ask midlife entrepreneurs is your experience and observations of being an older and wiser woman in an online business. So, what do you notice about being, more mature, more older? I like to say older because not old, just older. We are older.
Yes, for sure. Let's say that. Let's own that.
Yeah.
Um, I feel one of the biggest adventures is that you're just calmer, that you don't get so overexcited. And it can be it's still exciting building an online business, being an entrepreneur. But I'm not trying to do all the things. I'm not just like, oh, there's something new. Oh, let's do on TikTok. Oh, let's do this. Oh, let's do this. There's more chill
Yeah.
in how I run my business. And like, okay, that looks interesting. Let's just like wait and see where it goes. I might do that and I might not do that. So I feel that's definitely a big advantage is also not really giving a shit anymore. Can we say that here?
Yeah.
Oh, and you're like, not so much bullshitting here. um, and just, yeah, I think that's it. And I already realized that in my 40s when I was working still in advertising agencies, freelancing, and everybody else around me got younger and younger, obviously. But they appreciated that you have that experience, that calmness, that, okay, let's just take a deep breath there because there was always like some drama. There were always problems to solve. And you're just like, okay, it's all going to work out. I know it's fine. Right. So maybe we don't take things so serious anymore, like the small things. We don't fret the small things anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What would you say that your main goal is for your business, like your next business focus?
It's really, I want to work with amazing women in their 40s, 50s, 60s. I want to create a lot more financial and emotional freedom for myself. So I'm definitely motivated by that right now, just by the opportunities that we have, that it's not like when you are employed and there's not really room to grow. You know where you're going to be in 5 years, basically. I don't have no idea where I'm going to be in 5 years with my
Mm-hmm.
business, but I really want to grow it to 7 figures. And it doesn't even matter. It's just like because I can, because it's like a mountain. I can climb that mountain because it's there.
And
So
how much of this excitement do you think is because you're in such an exciting new location?
no, that was all. I really
It was
always
always
did
there.
from the beginning when I discovered like online courses at Amy Porterfield back in 2016. I was like, I really love what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
clear. I mean, the whole interview, you have a smile on your face.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Very exciting. So, what would you say some of your top points are that you want to share?
So yeah, it's just like, it's never too late. It's never too late. I never had this one big moment in my life where everything suddenly was 180-degree different. I really did it step by step. Like saying, like, okay, let's take like 2 months off and go to Bali. Okay, let's go back there for 4 months. Okay, let's start like an online business. And then I was still freelancing, still supporting myself. Like it slowly built it up. I was in my 40s when I went to Bali, when I learned how to drive a scooter. I was in my 50s. I was 50 years old when I traveled around in my camper van by myself. 52 when I moved to a new country, learned a new language slowly. And I'm just really super happy with my life. So it's
It's
really never too late.
obvious.
Wherever you are, not saying that everybody has to travel in a camper van or move to a different country, whatever it is that lights you up. But when I remember my parents basically in their 50s already being stuck in their jobs and just like kind of waiting for retirement, and because they were on that pension plans and things, they couldn't leave. I'm like so grateful that I'm not stuck in a situation like that.
Yeah, it's interesting that you watched that and appreciated that, and then your life is just so full of freedom. It's anchored by freedom. That's
Yeah.
everything you do is simplified freedom. It's very exciting. I'm so glad I had a chance to talk to you about this. So how can people best get in touch with you?
So you can find me on Instagram or on my website. It's susannereiker.com. That's SUSANNERIEKER.com, the funny German spelling. And I would love to hear from you. I also have a quiz on my website. What's the next step to grow your business? If you want to check that out, where I share some of my best resources that's going to help you at the end. And I just love everybody who's reaching out. I have people reaching out to me. I'm coming to Mallorca. Let's meet for a coffee. So I love to hear from you, from everybody.
That's great. And of course, all of this information will be in the show notes. Amazing, Susanne. Thank you so much. I loved having this chance to talk to you. I really appreciate how you're doing your own thing, regardless of your age, regardless of how unusual it is for you, but you're really putting your passions first. I love that. So thanks so much.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right. That is it for now. If you're listening and loving what you hear, please like and subscribe. Reviews are great too and much appreciated. And if you're a woman in the middle who's 50 or over and an entrepreneur and would also like to come on the show, please go to www.midlifeinterviews.com and fill out an application. I'd love to have you on to share your story. Thanks so much for listening. It is never too late for you to put yourself on your agenda. I'm Suzy Rosenstein, and I'll talk to you again soon. Now, real quick before we say goodbye, if you are connecting with this show, I'd love to invite you to a happiness breakthrough coaching session. It's my laser-focused coaching call that will help you get clear about what's getting in your way as a woman in the middle entrepreneur and confident about your next steps to more happiness in your next chapter. Head over to www.nextchapterbreakthrough.com. Talk to you soon.